Uh, Hi everyone. My name is Khan Fidaula. Today my topic to discuss behaviorism. Behaviorism. What is behaviorism? How types interact? Behaviorism, also known as behavioral psychology, is a theory of learning based on the idea that all behaviors are acquired through conditioning, and conditioning occur through interaction with the environment. Behaviorists believe that an action are shaped by environmental stimuli. According to this school of thought, behavior can be studied in a systematic and observable manner regardless of internal mental state. Behavioral theory also said that observable behavior should be considered as cognition, emotion, and mood are far too subjective. Strict behaviors believe that any person can be trained to perform their task regardless of genetic background, personality traits, and internal thought. Within the limit of their physical capability at only quite the right conditions. What is behaviorism? Idea that behavior is quite through conditions. Mere behavior by learners respond to stimuli. A learner's response to stimuli can be reinforced using positive and negative feedback. Like operant conditions, subjects learn behavior by associating it with consequences, and classical conditions, subject learn to associate to unrelated stimuli with another. History, we discuss some information about history of behaviorism. Behaviorism was formally established with the 1930 publication of John P. Watson and classic paper. Simply put, strict behaviorists believe that all the result of experiments any person's, regardless of his or her background, can be trained to act in particular manner given the right condition. From about 1920 through the mid 1950, behaviorism grew to become the dominant school of thought in psychology. Types of behaviorism. Methodological behaviorism. What is methodological behaviorism? Methodological behaviorism state that observable behavior should be studied scientifically, and thought, mental state, and cognitive process don't aid to understanding of behavior. Radical behaviorism is rooted in the theory that behavior can be understood by looking at one's past and present environment and the reinforcement within it, thereby influencing behavior either positively or negatively. How the factors that impact conditions during the first part of the classical condition process, known as equestination. A response is established and strengthened. Factors such as the prominence of the stimuli and, and timing of the presentation can play important role in this. Quickly an association is formed. When an association disappears, this is known as extension and causes the behavior weakening gradually and vanish. Factors such as strength of the original response can play a role in how quickly extension occurs. That's all.
Popularity of behaviorism. Behaviorism of one sort or another was an immensely popular research program or methodological commitment among students of behavior from about the third decade of the 20th century through its middle decades. Tolman's from 1986 to 1959, and Dr. Hall from 1884 to 1952, and Gother from 1886 to 1959, 59. Tolman, for example, write that everything important is psychology can be investigated is essence through the content experimental and theoretical analysis of the detriment of rat behavior at choice point in AMAZ 1938 is developed behavior management techniques for autistic children she loves and now someone 1976 and token economics for the management of chronic schizophrenias see Still and Lichtenberg 1976. It's followed the sequences of how best they understand the behavior of non-human animals and the relevance of laboratory study to the natural environmental oscillations of animal behavior. Why be a behaviorist? The first reason is epistemic or developmental warrant of evidence for saying, at least in the third person case, that an animal or person is in a keratin mental state. For example, possesses a keratin belief is grounded in behavior. Understood belief is grounded in behavior, understood as observable behavior, and so on poorly. Mentalistic activities may be at least rarely parsed as terms of behavioral concepts, a topic to be revisited later on the entry. In the 7th section, Signar social worldview, fear is the most interesting in the part in part because its community has evolved away from its Skinnerian roots. Is that twin wax community in Virginia and in the USA, which can be directly explored via the internet. See other internet resources. Thank you.
Hello everyone, myself Muskan SYED and today I am here to give some information on anti-behaviorism. Anti-behaviorism is unpopular. It is dismissed by the cognitive scientists developing integrate internal information processing models. It is neglected by the cognitive ethologists and ecologists, psychologists convinced that its method are irrelevant to studying how animals and persons behave in their natural and the social environment. It is rejected by the neuroscientists, sure that directly study of the brain is the only way to understand the cause of behavior, and ruminants of behaviorism, survival in both behavior therapy and laboratory-based animal learning theory. In the metaphysics of mind, two behavioristic theories and themes survive in the approach of mind known as functionalism. Functionalism defines state of mind and state that place particular that the behavior can be explained without reference to non-behavioral mental activities, and also the functional Skinner term relation to or co-variation with the environment and the animal's history of environmental interactions. Neurophysiological and neurobiological conditions for Skinner sustain or implement this function relation. They do not survive as ultimate or independent source of behavior. Behavior Skinner in year 1953 wrote cannot be accounted for while staying wholly inside an animal. Eventually, we must turn to forces operating upon the organism from without or unless there is a weak spot in our causal chain so that the second neurological link is not lawfully determined by the first or the third by the second. The first and the third link must be lawfully related. Valid information. Our defining feature of traditional behavioral